Hey everyone, welcome to What If Flipping Takes. Thank you for tuning in. Today I have a really good friend of mine, Patrick. He is with Title 360, not Title 360, Film 360. And yeah, he has an amazing story, and I'm excited to introduce you guys to him. I feel like right now in today's industry with the real estate market, especially with flipping, it's been tough. So it's not just listing your properties on the market anymore and just letting them sell themselves. You've got to really put in that extra energy, extra everything you can think of just to get these houses sold. You have to do it right now. So if you want top dollar and you want to get these properties moved, you have to hire specialists like you to get these properties sold. So
well, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of new technology out there, new marketing out there, new tools out there. So it's knowing what to use, but also knowing what not to use.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's definitely a lot out there in this industry.
And there's a lot of wannabes that just want to be the film crew and want to try to.
Well, I think a lot of people try. They know they have to do something.
Yeah.
They don't know how to do it, or don't know how to do it the right way.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing to try, but if you can get the resources, if you get the education, if you can get a game plan and really understand why you're doing the things you're doing, then it's going to help you succeed. Yeah. Whether you're flipping your own homes, whether you're an agent flipping your clients' homes, or selling real estate, or just in the industry in general, it's important to understand what tools are out there, what systems are out there, and why you're using them.
Yeah. So I am not a tech savvy person, and you should see my homemade film, and I don't even have the gimbal. Well, I do, but I don't use it. So mine make you pretty dizzy, but most realtors and most people in this industry, they're not as tech savvy. So how did you even get started? I mean, where did you come from? How did you break into this career of yours? I've kind of watched you from the start, and you've really grown, and I've just been watching you, and it's impressive of how quickly you've grown your business. And
it's actually an interesting story. Our growth comes from kind of years of experience beforehand. What originally started out is we wanted to make the world's first virtual reality gallery. So I was in the art space. I just got done with a tech company, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was dealing with art, and we were just selling beautiful pieces of work, and we wanted to kind of put a modern spin on it. So virtual reality was becoming a hot topic. It was the hottest topic at CES, and we're like, all right, what if you can go ahead and put goggles on your face, and you can walk through a gallery online, and you can buy art.
Oh, wow.
So we wanted to do something like that. Well, it turns out the art world is way behind in technology. Turns out it really isn't even feasible to build that out yet at the time when we were doing it, between the cost of all of that, the infrastructure, the clientele, it wasn't the best positioning. We were dreaming big, but we bit off too much and we can chew.
Yeah. And how long ago was this?
Probably a couple of years ago, two and a half years ago or so.
Okay.
So we moved into real estate. And at first, I didn't want to go into real estate because I thought, oh, if I know about it, it must be already done. Everyone's already doing it. Turns out that wasn't true at all. So we got into real estate, and we started doing virtual tours of homes. Just these little tours to where you can look left to see the kitchen, look right to see the living room, kind of get a feel for the house. Well, we started realizing that it's not just that one product. It's, well, how are you going to show it? So we started putting it on property pages. And we realized that instead of just having your listings kind of all over the place, having one centralized area to be able to showcase your properties and your listings is what people wanted. So we started adding on the property pages. We started doing photography. We started doing drone. And slowly but surely, we became this kind of one-stop shop. And we kind of grew into the company that we are today by really focusing on what the end user wanted, not just the real estate agent or the person hiring us, but who their end user is, the potential buyer, the potential person looking through the home, and providing as much value as we can for them.
Okay. So you started off with the whole art and trying to figure out a system with the art. And I mean, so going back to your life, like what intrigued you to do this? Like, I know like a lot of kids these days like to fly their own drones, and they like to, what intrigued you to actually get into this field of work?
So the story probably goes back another 6 or 8 years beforehand. I was playing college football, and I got injured. and I wanted to get into business. I've kind of always been somewhat around entrepreneurship. So I started a fashion jewelry company with a buddy, or actually he started it and I kind of came on board. And I just went from business to business. I had a life insurance agency at one point. I ran a restaurant on the East Coast for a little bit. I sold lemonade at Petco Park. I mean, I had the small jobs to the big ones. And I kind of dabbled in everything, but I knew I wanted to be in business for myself. I knew I wanted to, create something. I wanted to work on my own dream. And I got fortunate enough that throughout those different experiences, I got to meet some really cool people. For example, my business partner, Gabe, I met at a audio tech company, a publicly traded tech company. He was doing their whole marketing and their back end and websites and systems. And the timing just happened to work, and we came together. I met our drone pilot, another business partner, Bear, Jonathan. He's amazing. He built homes for 15 years and was an artist. So those two talents came together, and he's a pilot. So, through the course of probably 8 or 10 years of doing different types of business ventures and just trying and failing and repeating, we put together this team that, turns out to really work well together.
Right. Yeah, you guys, just working with you the other day, it was cool to just have all your different partners involved, and they all have their own specialty of what they do. And so I got the drone and the Matterport and the photos and everything kind of all at once. So it was kind of like a pretty cool setup that you guys put together.
Yeah, and it seems like it's a quick process, because it is, but it took decades of work for us to learn, for Gabe to learn email marketing and systems and how to connect things, for learning how to fly and how to color grade. Each one of our staff members and team members have put in years of work on their own skill sets and crafts to be able to create a product like this. So it really is special to us. And every time we create something, it is unique. It is something that we want to go ahead and do our best at.
So you guys started doing the Film 360, 3 years ago? So
yeah, around 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so I heard about you guys right when you started and through a friend, and I was kind of like, okay, cool. And I saw some of the technology you guys were doing. I thought it was really cool how you kind of zoom into the property. It's like this really cool, it's almost like a drone diving into the house.
Google Earth. That was actually, and that came from a client of ours who recommended it. That's something he liked, and we listened to the feedback. And at first, actually, I buckled at that. I was like, no, I don't like that. And I don't want a Google Earth intro. And I, not closed-minded, but I just said no to it. And then we started using it, and we're like, wait, it really gives you a good idea of where the property is within that neighborhood. If I say it's in La Jolla, well, La Jolla has 17 different neighborhoods. Where is it in La Jolla? So that, even that little piece, that came from one of our clients, and it's something we've been doing ever since.
For a lot of San Diego, you want to know that location. Like, you want to actually, it's kind of cool because it does bring you right in. You could see how far the ocean is, the bay, what's around it, and kind of dive into it. The one that you guys did on Ingram Street for us, it was kind of, you could see how close the bays were, and that was surrounded by
South
water.
Crown Point over there.
It's just like, so that was pretty cool.
Well, and it comes down to, right now, buyers have so much access to properties online. So as an agent or someone flipping a property, how do you engage them? How do you provide value that they're coming to you for? Because Zillow's out there, you can look at what's on the market. That's great. So how do they come to you to get more? Besides just photos and the description, what else can you offer them? Why just do the basic minimum when you can go ahead and showcase more, offer more value, and really help someone?
Today I feel that, and that's why I've been using more of this, is because selling the properties and getting top dollar. The seller wants top dollar, they want you to sell it fast, and they want everything.
Raise your hand if you want to set a record and do it in 3 days.
Right, exactly. So it's like I have to do everything that it takes to get the property sold and get the exposure it needs, and
on top of that, San Diego is a very competitive market. San Diego is different than like Boise or Chicago. Like, San Diego is a very competitive market in terms of a lot of the agents here, not only have they been doing it for a while, but they're also willing to invest in it. So if you're not going to be doing it, someone else is. And if you're going to a listing presentation and you want to compete at a high level, you are competing against people that are using these tools, that are using drone on every property, that are using Matterport on every property, that are doing high quality photos in a property page and marketing for every property.
Right.
Some don't even care about the price point. They just realize that it's a good service to have for the end person, for the end buyer. It's a good service for the seller, and they just use it. So it gets the property more exposure, but it also it moves the whole industry forward is what it does.
And I mean, there's so many foreign buyers now coming in, buying cash too. And so they, you know, if they're coming from China or India or whatnot, they can almost buy them online at this point.
We've had it. We've had people buy properties online. We've had people spend $3, $4, $5 million on a property sight unseen.
Yeah.
They go through the tour, they get the floor plan, they go ahead and see if it works for them, they see the neighborhood, and if it's something that fits, they purchase it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not common. It's not something that we advertise that, hey, use us and you can sell sight unseen, but it happens.
Yeah. And I mean, we've gone more in that direction now than ever before, I think, just with more of the virtual tours and being able to just buy sight unseen and getting a home inspection and providing that for you know, for the buyers, and there you go. You know,
I mean it's crazy to think that we came from like, hey, here's this book, we're gonna go look at addresses and we're gonna drive around and physically see the properties, which isn't lost. I mean, for a majority of people, going to see a home is still a big deal and it's still a big part of it.
Right.
That hasn't gone away. It's just narrowing down what you actually want to see. So we've gone from like a book, seeing properties, to photos, marketing online, print, to now you can get a bird's eye view, drones, you can do 3D models, you can pull those models and build CAD files and see if you want to expand the house, you can see data, you can, I mean, it's grown so much with technology that it's really amazing, actually.
We have some samples of what you've done, so I would love to see like a couple, show everyone a couple of the samples.
I'd love to pull it up. In fact, I saw over here on the skyline one of the properties that we did. Let's pull up Harbor Club Penthouse. Okay, so being in San Diego 20 years, this is, to my opinion, one of the more iconic buildings. So we got a chance to do this for one of our clients, Jeff Grant. It's on the 41st floor. So it's one of our property pages. So what happens is when you land here, has 3 big images. If someone clicks on it, they can go through a gallery, but then there's icons that showcase what is on the page. So if you scroll down, you can go ahead and see the 3D tour. Now if you click play, let's go ahead and pull that up. So inside of that, it shows you the model of the home. Now here you are. Yep, and now you can go ahead and use the mouse or the arrow keys and look left and right. You can go ahead and look up, down. You can go ahead and see 3D model. So, bam, we went from the living room to the dining area. Now we're going forward. Now let's walk forward towards the kitchen. So you can really get an idea of the house without even being there.
And you can actually walk outside onto the deck too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, another thing is besides just from the value from the user, exposure online. A lot of people have never seen something like this before. If you want to do lead generation, if you want to go ahead and get your listings more exposure, if you want to drive more traffic to your website or to your brand or anything else, using tools like this is going to help you do that. Then if you also scroll down, there is the aerial video. So that top one right there, and and on this one what we did is we did look separate. We did a Google Earth separate from the video. This is an example of and see everything in there. What direction does it faces? Does it have second view potentials? When we talk about flipping, you want to acquire a deal. You want to buy, remodel, or fix, or renovate, and you want to sell for more. Well, it's important to understand whether if you build on a second story, if it's going to have an ocean view. if your lot can go ahead and have a pool. So it's important to be able to see what your potentials are when marketing it, when selling it, when purchasing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something, that I think that is very important now to sell your properties, and I think it's going to be the standard. It's just like the standard is getting photos for your property. It's like that's a given, But at some point, people are going to be forking out to get everything else done, because that's going to be the standard to how you sell a property these days. I know you work with a lot of big agents out there, and like Jim McInerney, you work with him, and you've come close with him, and he's continued to use you over and over and over.
Jim's become one of my best friends. I love the McInerney team. Jim, it's a great guy.
Yeah, and he's been able to do a lot of filming with you now, right? With you're getting into doing some of the what would you call it, like more of the video.
The renovations, or?
No, just like the sizzle video. Like
the social media
and he's
stuff.
like starting to like talk more about the properties.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Are you guys breaking more into that now, or how?
So good question. So a lot of the new stuff that we've been doing in that lane is really for social media. And the reason why it's for social media is because people spend a lot of time there. I think 1 out of every 5 mobile minutes is spent on social media. So understanding that platform and why people spend time there, and then creating video content for that to be effective. So yeah, we've started creating a lot of different types of video content based on how people engage. So when advertising, 15-second videos work great. So creating 15-second videos with a call to action that can achieve the objective, whether it's just more brand awareness, whether it's generating traffic, whether it's generating a lead, a phone call. So it's understanding how those platforms work and your objective, and then creating content, video content for that.
Right. And that's like a whole nother monster in itself.
It's a whole nother monster.
Social media is just crazy. Everything is changing all the time. That it's annoying.
I boil it down to, in order to be successful at it, you have to understand how it works.
Yeah.
Like,
otherwise, you're just wasting your money. That's what everyone says. It's like, don't just do the little boosting ads and this and that, because you're not going to actually, get
the results.
Get the results that you want, or get the leads that you want, or whatnot. And you guys actually have a whole thing where you do the social media.
Yeah, well, we have a whole marketing department. It actually came out about a year ago. A year and some change ago, we started realizing that we were creating these beautiful videos, this beautiful content, putting them on pages, and then unfortunately they sat there. Yes, the agent would do some marketing. They'd get some print out there. They'd use their email data blast. They'd make some calls. They'd send it around. They'd go ahead and do what they've already been doing, and that got some eyeballs on it. Sometimes it got the property sold, but what we started finding out is that people wanted more exposure. They've got this beautiful machine sitting here that can work for them. How do they get more eyeballs on it? So we went through Facebook's business courses. We got certified. We started understanding how the platform works, what sequencing ads means, what retargeting is, what custom audiences are, like what all those little intricate things are and what they do, to be able to effectively identify who a potential buyer might be and drive traffic to them. I mean, at one point in time, before the whole Facebook data scandal, we'd be able to go ahead and pull data and go, hey, I want people that are 35 to 45 with $3 million in liquid assets in the bank with a black Amex card in the 92067 and 92037
Black
areas.
Amex card?
I mean, we can get it
Can you really do that?
by credit score. I mean,
so
so if you start understanding those things have changed now, but if you understand your buyer profile, you understand who your potential buyer might be, then you can use target marketing and you can use social media to put your property in front of those people. And the whole idea is that by exposing good content, good assets to your target clientele, that's how you can go ahead and convert people offline into calling you, into your email, into a text message, and into a client.
Okay. So you guys went from, you guys do all the media, And then now you're doing a lot of the
We're a
social-
one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from the very beginning now, you can, I mean, it's as simple as, hey, we have ABC Street that wants to be filmed. We set up the time. We look at the sun to make sure the property is the best lighting for depending on what gets filmed. We send our staff out there. Within 24 to 48 hours, we have the property page and all the assets complete. You get one email with everything on there with your photos, your Matterport, your aerial, the whole nine in one area. And then if you are one of our retainer clients, you can go ahead and use our marketing, which means that we can then take that, we can already have ads running for you, we can have analytics reports for your clients, all done one-stop shop, done with one phone call.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that you're the real estate professional. Your job is to sell homes. Let us be the experts in creating the media and marketing it. Let us be the experts there.
And the two go hand in hand. I mean, you can get beautiful video and get everything you need for the property to get it exposed, but if you can't get it out there and get it exposed properly, it's like, okay, you can use that video, like you said, for your own sphere and your own network and your own emails, but really getting it out there to get it sold, you have to do that marketing afterwards. You have to do, it's kind of like wasting part of what you paid for, you know?
Well, and also if you look at it as there's two sales. There's in a listing presentation, there's getting the listing. That's the first yes you need. And then once you have the listing, it's getting it sold. So really we try to create a product that helps with both. It helps you in the listing to go ahead and get the listing and be the person they choose. And then once you get the listing to go ahead and actually be able to market it and get it sold.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Maybe you should be a realtor now. So we have some comments. Can you read them? Because I can't.
Let's see. We don't have nearly enough agents using resources like this from the amount of out-of-state and foreign buyers in Hawaii. It's the future. Thank you, Cody. Yeah, so to be quite honest, I'd say we're kind of right on time with the curve. We started a couple years ago and we knew we were early, but we had to work out our kinks. We didn't start off with Matterport. We started off with our own 360 camera and some third-party software. We had to work out the kinks. We didn't start off with Inspires and new drones. We started off with older products. So it took a couple of years to get here, but I think the time is now to where people are coming on board. People are starting to use the technology more. People are starting to go ahead and engage more of this. And other areas, like Cody said, in Hawaii needs this. Other areas are catching on. San Diego is one of the more competitive markets, therefore it's one of the faster markets to adopt new technology. But other markets that don't always have access to stuff like this, they're craving it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, as a listing agent, going on an appointment and being able to offer all of this versus an agent going and not offering any of that, you know, it makes a difference to those sellers because they want all of that, you know, and it's cool to keep in, you know, most of the sellers for me, it's like they keep that in their portfolio of homes that they've owned, you know, they're proud of it, they send it out to their friends and family. I mean, it's something like for them to keep and use as well, just
That's
as a memory.
It doesn't go away. So it's especially when you've created memories in a home. I mean, it's not just, this isn't a black and white transaction.
Yeah.
This is someone's asset, but that asset is filled with memories and love and tears and happiness and dinners. I mean, there's so much to that.
Yeah.
So you're not just selling a house, you are capturing that. And they do get to look on for this for years to come. I mean, we still have our first property that we did out there. It's still live. I mean, we don't want to show it, but it's
Let's show it now.
Definitely not, but it's there.
I mean, I think it's cool. Like, I would love to have videos of like my parents' houses, you know, growing up. I mean, that would be cool to
show
keep
your
in.
Kids
like,
and
this is
stuff.
where you guys grew up when, you know, when you were all little, and you know, having all that around and even the furniture and stuff. That'd be cool to see, like the 70s and 80s back then, you know, of like what was happening.
It's funny. So when we started filming 2 years ago, some neighborhoods have changed, buildings have changed, things have come up. So we've come across where we'll come back to not the same house, but maybe the house next door, and it's different.
Yeah.
So we're looking at as over the years we're collecting footage of a changing skyline, of a changing neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see, and it is actually really cool to see people that are rehabbing homes coming into neighborhoods and increasing the property value for not just that property but the ones around it, and bringing San Diego, just making it nicer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool to see that.
Yeah, and I know I've noticed you guys do work on a lot of rehabbed homes. A lot of flippers hire you guys, and a lot of development, redevelopment, and new builds and stuff like that. They've used you guys just to like really get that exposure out. So I mean, I definitely think it's something that, you know, a few years ago, yeah, it was just a handful. I mean, there wasn't that many people using it. It was like the new thing.
Yeah.
You know. What about do you guys do the goggles or whatever?
So yes. So the goggles itself is funny because.
Yeah, I don't even know how that all works.
Okay.
See, like to me, I see stuff like that, but I don't really. I mean, I know it's there, but like, do the buyers put on the goggles?
So it's pretty cool actually. So there's some gaming systems like the Oculus Rift, and there's a Microsoft one as well. You can go in the stores, you can put them on. It's a trip. You can feel like you're on a roller coaster in space. It's crazy. Now those are kind of rigs. They're tied up to a gaming console, a TV, and stuff like that. So for a while, the best way of actually seeing a 3D tour was to go ahead and put your phone into a Google Cardboard or plastic headset and using your phone as a headset.
Oh, got it.
Now there's headsets like the Oculus, I believe, Rift. There's like a $200 one, and it uses Wi-Fi, and you can use any Matterport tour. And then you can go press the VR, and you can put it on, and you can take an entire tour in the headset. And it's not. I don't think every buyer is using it because you actually have to own one of those. So you have to go spend $200, or your agent might have one, and that's cool if they do. If they don't, I'd look into buying one. But our entire product actually works in there because what you can do is inside that headset is you can pull up a website inside the headset. So our entire product, from the pictures to the videos to the Matterport, all works in VR.
Oh, really?
So the whole idea is that, you know, maybe it's not as popular now, but in 2, 3, 4 years when it is more popular, not only can you show your properties in VR, but your entire portfolio is already there. Mm-hmm. You know, everything we do is in 4K. Not every phone and TV shows in 4K. Not everyone watches in 4K. But in 2, 3 years, your entire portfolio is already there. So we're creating a product that in the future, even the past is already up to date.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see how it's going to keep going out. I think it's going to be more accessible. It's not going to be this clunky, goofy headset. Eventually, it's going to be thin glasses or something nice and lightweight.
Yeah.
And
Maybe we can like ship them to our client.
it's a really immersive experience. It really is.
Yeah.
It's because what happens is you lose sight of where you're at. You're not here anymore. You're not in your space. You put a headset on, your audio's taken away, your visuals are taken into this headset, and you're there.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to try. I haven't actually tried it yet, but
I've got one home.
I'll have to borrow
I'll bring it. Yeah,
I'll be
no,
like,
it's
wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, super cool that you guys just keep up on everything, and I mean, I've you know, really have watched you grown like crazy, and you're all over the place now. So that's pretty cool to watch you know, starting from scratch to growing your business to where you are now. What are your future plans? Do you guys have plans on scaling a big business, or how?
So there's a couple things. One, our property page, the digital product, which means whether you use us or not for photography, for video, you can use us for property pages. That we can do across the nation, internationally. Anyone can buy one of those.
So you have like everything kind of a la carte.
Everything's a la carte. The other option is we've been coming out with this digital listing presentation, or a microsite, which essentially holds your entire portfolio, and you can add your own videos to it, you can add lead capture to it, you can go ahead and customize sections. It's only $99 a month. So it's basically a completely modern, updated website for $99 a month.
Okay.
So we have been focusing our scaling on our digital products. Okay. We try not to grow too fast because we try to always maintain quality. And for us, the journey really is the fun part. Coming, as fun as it is to have already gotten here, the trip along the way, that's the fun part. And to be quite honest, none of it is possible without the team that we have in place. It's the way our staff and everyone works together and creates this product, and the love and passion they have for it, that's what makes this whole ship float. So yeah, we do plan on scaling, we do plan on expanding, and we do have some digital products and some digital services that we do want to offer, not just locally, but across, to be able to grow your own business.
Yeah. Yeah, and
and
I know you
support.
guys. I noticed you guys use Sterling Photo a lot, or
Mhm.
she's one of your partners. and-
She's our in-house photographer,
Yeah.
so we started using
She's
her about a
awesome.
year ago. Yeah, Megan's
Yeah.
amazing.
My photos look great, so
Glad you're
she's got
happy.
some good views of downtown San Diego. So super
Mhm.
happy with those. But that's cool. You've really partnered with good people. They know what they're
Mhm.
doing. They're experts at what they do. You know.
Yeah, and we didn't skimp out. We didn't choose the cheapest option. We didn't choose, oh, well, this makes us the most money. We really focused on, does this make the most sense? Does this provide the most value? To be perfectly honest, we may not be the very best in video. We may not be the very best at all these things, but for a one-stop, great price point company,
Right.
I
Affordable. It's
affordable, exactly. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
looking for years, and I really haven't found a company that could match us
Right.
toe to toe on what we do.
Yeah, and instead of for an agent, it's easy to just go to one place and like on your site you can like click. Okay, I want the Matterport. I want the personal website. I want this. You could click whatever you want and
Yeah.
just pay for what you want, which is cool because it's like then you guys just package it all up and you do it all at once and.
Yeah, and we are a newer company. We've been around for a couple of years. There's photographers that have been in this business for 15, 20 years, right? I didn't want to come in here and go, hey, no, you can no longer use your photographer because you want us for these 6 other services.
Right.
I didn't want to, we didn't want to come in here and go, no, you can't use this person, you have to use us. We never want to do that. We look at this as, this is an industry where, as competitive as it is, we all need to work together to help each other out.
Right.
We're all in the same industry. We all have bills to pay. We all have families. We all have, we don't want to take anything away from anyone. We just want to be a good, supportive, positive influence in this industry and help any way we can.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, our time is up. Thank you, Patrick, so much for being on. That was really fast, and it feels like it goes by so fast. But if you guys are interested and you want more information from Film 360, contact Patrick. How can they contact you? What's your info?
So best way would be 619-343-8619. That'll be my phone if you want to get a hold of me directly, and we can set something up. Another thing that I want to go ahead and do is if you want to take our product for a spin, if you want to go ahead and see what a property page might do for you, how it looks like with your branding, we can do propertypresentationpage.com. Once again, that's propertypresentationpage.com. You can fill out your information, you can upload your logos, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and turn around and give you a sample property page with your logos, with your branding, with your information. That way you can go ahead and take it to a listing presentation, or you can go ahead and see how it feels and see where we can go from there.
Yeah, very cool.
So,
well, thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll
Thank
see you
you.
next month.
all right.